you are Mr. Stephen Duffy.
I am.
Your Honour, thank you for the information that Mr. Duffy that he corresponds but I don't see anything within the papers. Mr. Duffy, there was a letter issued to him at an address that I showed him, and in response to that letter, giving the date, he's attending today as far as I can see, and it's a conditional offer of a fiscal fine issued to the address that's on the paperwork, Your Honour, that was issued directly by fiscal sources to Mr. Duffy, addressed to Mr. Duffy at that address, giving a payment arrangement, and it was for an offence in the 4th of October 2010, contrary to the British Transport Commission Act 1949, Section 55. I think that there was an attempt to transfer the financial recovery arrangement, possibly because of some suggestion of a different offence, that wasn't possible. And the case has been cited to today, but there doesn't appear to be anything, Your Honour, and there's been no other enforcement options considered. It may be checked, but I would need to check that. Maybe I'm not sure on it, but in any event, it will be within the records that I can access through the other staff.
You might be looking for a mailbox address
I
now.
don't have that information just now, Your Honour. I need to get it to the office.
Hey, Mr. Duffy, stand up, please. You've heard what's been said, and the bottom line is that you have an outstanding fine of £150, which was a fiscal conditional offer relating to a fine that was imposed on the 11th of November 2010. That relates to the British Transport Commission Act in 1949, Section 55. What have you got to say about that?
I've got a prepared statement with regards to this and several matters connected with it. If you don't mind me reading it. In connection with the alleged fine and several matters connected with it, particularly if you're a Justice of the Peace, there's something important in it for you as well.
Let me hear your statement.
In defence of the inalienable rights of fair trial and the presumption of innocence, it has been brought to my attention that this inquiry requests my presence, but the citation has not been properly served upon me. It is by pure fortune that I have the citation, which has caused needless distress to my elderly parents living at an address which I do not. The address at which I do live has been kept no secret from government departments over the last 3 years that it has been my only and fixed abode. It is neither here nor there whether this address will fit upon the standard forms of those appointed to serve the people. It has been made available to the DVLA and the Secretary of State separately in that regard. As has been known to Strathclyde Police for over 2 years now, and as has more recently been made available to the Procurator Fiscal in Glasgow in regard to proceedings where I may be asked to bear witness for them. Let the inquiry, the judiciary and its principal take note that the address as I gave to the Clerk of Court earlier.
So can I just stop there and clarify for my own purposes, my faculty, I'm not out of line here. What you're saying so far is that the citation that was delivered to you for today's hearing was delivered to your parents' address, and that's not your address.
It's not my address, from what I get there.
It was delivered to your parents' address, and your address is as you've written down here.
Yeah, Pub Cherry Bush behind the stream.
Okay, that's the first point. That's the first point you made, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, are we happy with that?
The position is, Your Honour, that the citation within the County Court is an option that's considered, and it's one that can be followed in most cases. In terms of the legislation, the minute a fine is involved, a warrant can be issued for arrest. So in general persons are cited and given the opportunity to come along. And if the citation has gone to an address that Mr Duffy's not living at this point, then in appearing today, it doesn't prevent Your Honour dealing with it, and the main inquiry might be certainly in regard to the addresses given, and the fact that we're certainly taking a look at that, but whether or not he's accepting that the amount is due, if the previous correspondence you see from the Fiscal's office would have gone to the same address,
Right.
and that's where it would have been taken by the Royal Mayor.
So in relation to the address, in relation to the citation address, then your comments are noted.
Right.
And we have noted also that the address that you've given, and that will be included in the records, the court records
Thank you.
of today's date. That still leaves you in a position that you owe £150 in relation to an unpaid fine. So if you maybe address why you haven't paid that, that would be most helpful.
Right. The citation bears to be under section 216(3)(a) of the Criminal Procedure Scotland Act 1995. For reasons that will become apparent, I am treating it as under section 398(2)(a) of the Criminal Procedure Scotland Act 1975. The sections are semantically equivalents of one another, created in different years. They are both in regard to the non-payment of a summary fine, where there is a restriction on imprisoning a person unless in their presence it's been inquired into why such fine has not been paid. I expect that the inquiry will, at least initially, find it irrelevant which way I treat this citation. It is out of respect for the history of the judiciary, who have done right to all manner of people, that I treat this citation at all. As a natural-born resident of Britain, a loyal subject of a sovereign United Kingdom, I am subject to no statutory legislation made under the supremacy of the European Union, a foreign power which now dictates to Parliament in what statutes are to be created and imposing fines on Her Majesty's government should they disobey the directives of foreign power. There is a further point that's in regard to what I'm saying here.
And if you wanted a recall for me to do that so that Your Honour would see what the gentleman is reading from, I can do that.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful. That would certainly be in your interest as well, Mr. Duffy. If you present a copy of that, please, to my legal advisor, so that I can have a copy of that, and that enables me to fully examine it, rather than listening to you. You know, obviously, we don't intend to take notes on it. Could you pass that over, no problem?
We'll certainly call it.
And we take a quote. I see the quote and we'll call you again.
Yeah.
Mr. Duffy, are you here only in regards to the citation for the unpaid fine?
In regard to that, but the Procurator Fiscal's involved in regard to the presumption of innocence and the right to a fair trial.
The position is that you're only here answering that citation. Is that correct? The citation issued to the Sheriff Clerk's office about the non.
It's only on that matter, but I believe that it's only on that matter, but I believe the Procurator Fiscal should be aware of the things I'm going to say.
Stephen Duffy.
Yep.
Mr. Duffy, could you confirm your address, sir?
I've got a prepared statement that includes a part about my address. You've got the wrong address.
Well, can you confirm today what your address is, please?
Certainly can.
So just, if you tell me just enough to do the statement, I need to check that our record for today, the right's been updated, can you confirm your address?
Well, I've got security considerations. I would rather not shout it out.
Right, okay, I'm just going to show Mr. Duffy something. That's the letter we sent you, Mr. Duffy. Is that where you received it?
No.
No? Okay. Mr. Duffy's position is, Your Honour, that he received a letter we sent to a particular address, saying that it's not at that address. Your Honour, wanting to write down his address in
Yes,
the
please.
paper? I'll get that done. Mr. Duffy, can you write down here, please, what your current address is?
I'm going to leave this piece of truth.
Just if you write it down, please. The other address, Your Honour, and I'll just need to make an inquiry about that as well.
Okay.
Do you want to recall Mr. Duffy's case, Your Honour?
Yeah, Mr. Duffy, take
Was
a
that
seat
you? Are you finished?
Yeah, that's it.
Take a
Right,
seat back in the
please
court just now.
sign that, please. Could you sign that? Thank you.
Take a seat back in the court, Mr. Duffy, we'll just always try.
Thank you. Your Honour, I think it was a first time you were looking to Your Honour, I have the original print, Your Honour, which we had earlier on today about the offence and the scope of the court, particularly the subject of the conditional offer fiscal fine issue from fiscal. We have Mr. Duffy's confirmation today of the address that he had put before the court, and I've also managed, Your Honour, to get via the staff a copy of the original offer that was issued to Mr. Duffy, and the issue was to a different address.
Yep.
And that's the conditional offer, Your Honour, that went out to Mr. Duffy with details. That comes out from the fiscal, it doesn't come out from us, but we were able to get it.
Mr. Duffy, I've read your statement. Taken some time to read it to see what you're saying. First issue you raise is the address that the citation for today was sent to. That ultimately was sent to your parents' address, and that is not the address that you're staying at.
No.
The address you're staying at is the address you've given. That was the address that the court got. How the court got that address, I do not know. But that is the address the court got, so therefore that is the address the citations come to. You're now in possession of it, so therefore you've been legally cited to court. As far as the original offences committee that you committed is concerned, it was committed on the 4th of October in 2010 at the Glasgow to Cumbernauld railway line at Steps railway station, Cardown Road Steps, and the offence was that you trespassed the railway line at that time. The notice of conditional offer sent in relation to that offence, that's the offence we're dealing with today. Do you understand that?
We're dealing with the...
That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the conditional offer fine for that offence.
Right, I've not had time to prepare a defence for this because the British Transport...
No. I'm just clarifying the situation. This is not a trial. I'm clarifying the situation to you so that we can clarify what we're dealing with here. Is that the offence that the conditional offer was issued for was in relation to an allegation of trespassing on the railway line at Steps railway station. That conditional offer was sent to you by the Procurator Fiscal to an address at Box 318, 111 West George Street.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you receive that?
I received it, but to be honest with you, when I seen that, I thought, well, they can't get away with that, because to me that was basically the Procurator Fiscal asking me for a bribe so that I could avoid being prosecuted for a criminal offence. And I did reply to the Procurator Fiscal stating that.
This is the copy, Mr. Duffy, is just to let you see it so that His Honour knows you're accepting that you got that.
Yeah,
right.
I can't read it, but I'm presuming that is the thing that I got.
Right, okay. I'll just read out the last couple of bits at the bottom. It's the top sheet is really a kind of covering explanation with some other more detailed things at the back of it. But paragraph 2 is confirming the details of the offence that the offer related to that His Honour read out to you, and they're indicating that they were using the Section 302 of the Criminal Procedure Act 1995 as the means of issuing this offer of a fiscal fine. It was explaining that if you accepted the offer, they wouldn't prosecute you. And they were saying if you wish to accept the offer, you have to make payment within 28 days or of the first instalment. It says if you wish to be tried in a criminal court, you may refuse the offer. And if you do not respond to the letter, you're treated as having accepted the offer. That's
might have
the
been held
details you
responsible
got.
for their presumption.
Well, what I'm just checking is that that's the letter, that you think that's the letter. I know you're saying you can't read it just now.
Well, I mean, I can read it, but I don't know. I've not got the other letters to actually compare. Is it the exact same? But I'm presuming that what you're saying is correct. That would have been the letter that was sent.
It's indicating, Your Honour, that on one of the pages inside, and this, on the face of it, we have to assume is what came out, but it may not have been. It may have come out different. On the one that came out to you, is indicating how you would go about accepting the offer, but it's also saying how you would go about refusing the offer, and you to write to the Clerk of Court. It's giving you that information there. Does that sound like what might have come out to you?
Possibly, probably, yeah.
Right, so you were given the option of writing to the Clerk of Court if you wanted this issue to go to trial.
If this is to go to trial, why should I have to apply for such a right if it's inalienable mine?
That's not the issue we get to look at today.
But that's the issue you stated.
No. You were given the opportunity. You were given the opportunity to question this and to ask for it to go to trial. You have not done that. So
I should not have to ask for something to go to trial. As I said before, I object to the practice of soliciting people for bribes in order to avoid criminal prosecutions.
I'm sorry, but that is the practice, and that's the law of the land. You were given that opportunity. You haven't taken that opportunity, so therefore the fine stands, and it's now up to me to decide how we're going to deal with that.
I'll not cooperate in any way. You'll have to imprison me. I refuse to accept any punishment without a trial.
You're refusing point blank to pay the fine.
I'm refusing to accept any punishment without a trial.
Okay. Well, in that case, the option is open to me to.
I think, Your Honour, if the gentleman can apply,
Yeah.
it's out with.
I will not apply for a right that's inalienable mine.
So just hold on. If the gentleman could have the opportunity to apply to the Sheriff Clerk, although it's out with the time of being entitled to challenge that the offer was issued, and he can apply to the Sheriff Clerk for them out of the usual time frame to either withdraw the offer or remit it back to the fiscal. And if you wish that opportunity, Your Honour can consider giving him that. But if he doesn't wish that opportunity, it's not something that anyone else would do for him.
The opportunity that can be given to you is that you can have the opportunity to apply to the Sheriff Clerk's office to have
The right which is inalienable mine.
To have this offer withdrawn, the fiscal's conditional offer withdrawn, and that's up to you. You are out with the time for doing that, but I can still afford you that opportunity to do it, which means that you would have to apply to the Sheriff Clerk's office to have the fiscal's conditional offer of £150 withdrawn, and giving your reasons why, which you've stated in your letter.
But can I just clarify then that what you're saying is, if I want the right to a fair trial in regards to this criminal offence, I will have to apply for such a right?
Yes. Well,
The position is that the legislation afforded this conditional offer of fiscal fine scheme as an alternative to prosecution, and the fiscal offered that, and it has a built-in challenge arrangement which you would have noticed of in terms of the literature that's out to you, and you're saying, I think, to His Honour, that you didn't take that challenge for your own particular reasons, because your view is that you don't have to challenge something that's an inalienable right. But in doing that, Your Honour, the legislation in place allows the fiscal to progress this. So it would either be a case of Your Honour remitting the amount due for whatever reason, or Your Honour allowing other time to pay under the usual terms, or other time to pay with a given start date to allow the gentleman to make the challenge, or to make no order about payment of repayment of any fine, with the matters coming back to the next final inquiry court, allowing the time in the meantime for any challenge if the gentleman would like to take that up. The Sheriff Clerk would have to consider his application, but they are not obliged to grant it. It's just out with the time scale it would have to be recorded, and they would either indicate generally what information they need, or it would just be a case of all the information being put forward to the gentleman to make that decision.
Did you understand all of that?
Not really.
Yeah. Well, let me make it easier for you. I'm prepared to give you an opportunity to apply to the Sheriff Clerk for a withdrawal of the conditional offer imposed by the fiscal, and in the meantime, during that time, the issue of this outstanding fine will be recited to another court at a later date, once again, and you'll be cited to attend. And in the meantime, you'll get an opportunity to make that request, that withdrawal request, to the Sheriff Clerk. That's down to you. Whether the Sheriff Clerk grants that or not is down to the Sheriff Clerk, the Sheriff Court. I'm giving you that opportunity.
I stand on my inalienable right to.
Well, I know, I've heard about the inalienable right. I'm telling you what the court disposal is. At the moment, what I'm saying to you is I'm giving you the opportunity to apply to the Sheriff Clerk. And this will be recited to a further court.
The next court date, Your Honour, will be 23rd of April 2013 at 10 o'clock.
Okay. The next fines and Inquiry Court is the 23rd of April here at Coatbridge Court, Coatbridge Justices East Court at 10 o'clock, and you're cited or due to appear on that date. Do you understand that?
I've got to reappear in
Yes.
this.
Yes.
If the Sheriff Clark's decision on the gentleman's challenge was that it should be withdrawn, the case will need to call, but Mr. Duffy would know that because...
But no, what I'm saying, I'm never going to apply for a right that's already mine.
Well, in that event, Your Honour, I think we would be expecting that the gentleman would either pay it or come back to court and the court would decide on that date what they would do about it.
Absolutely. That's the bottom line. You get the opportunity to apply for the Sheriff Clark to withdraw, to have this fiscal conditional offer withdrawn. That's down to you. In the meantime, I'm reciting you to appear here at a final inquiry court on the 23rd of April. If the Sheriff Clark decides that is withdrawn, that's a finish for it. If the Sheriff Clark doesn't, then we're back to square one. We have an outstanding fine of £150. So in the meantime, the outstanding fine of £150 remains. You can either pay it or you can apply to have it withdrawn. That's entirely your decision.
But what you're saying is, well, just to clarify, it'll go back to square one on the 23rd of April. I'll be here again making the same issue for you coming out with the same thing. Is there no some way to resolve this so that the rights guaranteed by... But that's what I'm saying. I don't accept the fine. I believe that...
You have been given the choice, and you have been given
an opportunity to apply for a right that is already mine.
You were given that at the beginning, Mr. Duffy. You were given that opportunity away at the beginning.
But I'm saying, I know what I'm saying is an opportunity to apply for something that is already mine must be theft of something that was mine originally.
That's never here nor there as far as this court's concerned. You've been given the opportunity within the powers that are given to me. And that's what you've got. That's the bottom line. So, is there no way to put this to a higher court so that I can get a decision on whether this is right or not? No. You've got a decision of the court today, and you're going to have to act on that in whatever way you see fit. That's the finish with me now, Mr. Duffy. And there isn't any sort of avenues that I can go through to... I've told you what the avenues are. A right for suspended.
Certainly, Mr. Duffy, who wants to take independent legal advice on his position on this matter from a solicitor of his own choosing or from a citizens advice bureau. I'm not sure to what extent we can assist him, but if there's nothing to stop him getting independent legal advice on this. You can go ahead and get whatever advice you want, Mr. Duffy. You can go to a lawyer, you can go to citizens advice or whatever. I just want my right to a fair trial, that's all. The suspicion is, Your Honour, that Mr. Duffy, if he takes legal advice and he doesn't have to look to his solicitor, he might take advice about what his options are, and if there's some option that he wishes to consider taking, and the Sheriff Clark's office are notified about it, then the fine recovery process would probably stop to allow that to be done, but that would be something that Mr. Duffy would need to look into. And I believe, Your Honour, because Mr. Duffy's here and you're ordering him and ordaining him to return at that date and time, there won't be any postal citation issued. Mr. Duffy's here and he's aware of where he's to come. So nothing will come to your address between now and when you're deciding to reappear here. In the meantime, you have the opportunity that I've given you to go to the Sheriff Clark, or indeed you can take legal advice. You're free to go now, Mr. Can I just ask, what have you taken note of there's like a specific matter that's in relation directly to a justice of the peace in the statement that I made? Have you taken note of that? The statement's there, and it's alongside the papers, and it'll be retained with the papers. Retained. Okay, thank you.